Hi everybody. I always forget to turn it up. And oh, I'm glad I checked. It was down low. Hey everybody. My name is Jessica Travis. In case you happened upon this video and you didn't realize that you were on my timeline, hi. I wanted to talk about some blends that I love and that are everybody's thinking about them today. So I thought we'll talk a little bit about them. Hey guys, hey Michelle, hey Hallie, hey Diana, hey Mary. Shout out. You guys let me know where you're tuning in from if it's somewhere that I'm not sure of. Like Joanna, Dr. Tiffany Taft. Let me know where you are listening from. That's really interesting to me. Anyway, so I thought I would talk about the fact that when I first started using essential oils, I was kind of like, okay, so if it's called, the two essential oils we're going to talk about today are called Island Mint. It's a blend called Island Mint, and then there's one called Purify. So when I first started using essential oils, which was over 6 years ago, I was completely new to using them, so I didn't know anything about them. So when I saw a blend like Purify, I would say, oh, Purify. It says cleansing blend. So I use this to clean. And it's deodorizing. So I put this in my deodorizing box. And I use that to clean, and that's what that's for. And so that is the way that I would think about it. And that could actually be very limiting when you do that. And I came to learn that, and that's what we're going to talk about. Same thing with something like Island Mint. Okay, Island Mint, summertime blend. It sounds great and it sounds like it smells good. But if we only look at it as a smell good blend, it could be limiting. You could say, or what if you don't like the way it smells? Then you're like, oh, well, I don't like that. I don't want that because I don't like the way it smells. And it's only for a smell. Essential oils, the smell of essential oils is kind of like the icing on the cake. The aroma is the bonus, but the properties are the gold. That's where it's at. So like what they do and what's in them is far more important than how they smell. Now, of course, if you're going to be diffusing something, you want to enjoy the smell of it. If you're going to use something aromatically in order to enjoy the fragrance and the aroma of it, absolutely you want to choose something it's pleasant to you. But you don't want to exclude certain things just because you don't enjoy the smell. You need to go and dig a little bit deeper and find out what are the benefits of those specific essential oils. What are the ingredients of these blends, and why would I even care about something called Island Mist? Or why would I even care about something called Purify if maybe I think I've got a pretty good thing going on as far as deodorizing and cleaning? You know, maybe I don't really care about Purify. So this is why I wanted to talk to you guys. So when you look at essential oils like these, I'm going to focus on a couple of ingredients that maybe aren't as well known or well researched, or people maybe not as well read, okay? So when we look at Island Mint is something, both of these oils are from doTERRA, so they're proprietary blends. That means you can't get them anywhere else. They're only available from doTERRA essential oils. And then Island Mint is available all the time. It's a special or exclusive oil. So you look at it and you look at the ingredients and you're like, okay, lime, lemon, peppermint. Those are all oils that I have and that I like and that I'm pretty familiar with and I know the benefits of. But then I look down, actually the first ingredient is lime, then it's lemon, then peppermint. The last ingredient is spruce. So spruce, though, a lot of people don't actually have spruce. Some of you may, but I think at least half probably don't have spruce or utilize spruce as often. So that's where you start to say, okay, what is spruce good for and what does it do? And I'll tell you, it's really a good one. Now, the the actual spruce, I did not look up pronunciation before I started this. So Picea mariana, which actually is the black spruce variety, that's what's in Island Mint. And we do have, doTERRA does have black spruce. It's available in a 5 ml. And so it's more of a precious oil that is available in a smaller size because it's not as widely available. There's not a huge volume of it. So that's always a clue to me when there's something in a smaller bottle. I know that it's more precious. It's not as easily accessible. We don't have access to large volumes of it. So then immediately I want it because I want to have access to it. I want to have a supply of it because there's not a whole lot of it, right? It's that whole scarcity. So if you ever have just smelled plain black spruce, somebody just said they love it. It's so, so, so lovely. So black spruce smells good, but what does it do? Cool things. So it comes from the needles and the twigs of these black spruce trees that are Canadian. The aroma is both calming and elevating. That's one of the things I absolutely love about this oil. An oil that has both calming and elevating properties is ideal for diffusing. So this Island Mint contains the spruce. If somebody is feeling lethargic and melancholy and you diffuse the Island Mint, then you have that elevating effect. If somebody is feeling nervous, hyperactive in their thoughts, and you diffuse Island Mint, now you're gonna achieve that calming effect. Same oil, isn't that neat? So I love the fact that it has both the calming and the elevating effects. The other thing that's really good is the balance to the adrenal glands. So helping to restore balance to the function of the adrenals. So when we think of adrenal issues, we think of like exhaustion, we think of overwork, we think of fatigue. So when you have that balanced out, then you're going to have more energy. So when people have overworked or depleted adrenals, a lot of times they'll be sluggish. And then you just think of the whole body and anything sluggish, you're going to like spruce and therefore Island Mint. And when you think about what else is in there, peppermint, which helps things get moving too. And then the citrus oils that are in there. It's really good for invigorating and kind of moving things along. Think of anything sticky or sluggish, because there's also another property of spruce is the chemical constituent called camphene, and that is really good for mucus. So that's going to help anything sluggish or mucusy to kind of thin out and move along, which is really good. It has that cleansing attribute. So that's really good to know about spruce. If you are sluggish or emotionally sluggish, like you don't let things move along, you tend to hold on to things, and then what that usually results in is resentment. That has been shown time and time again to be consistent with kidney and adrenal issues, like adrenal fatigue and then kidney issues. Resentment, holding on, not letting go, and not letting things flow. Like there's a certain flow that just needs to happen, and there's certain personality types that won't let that happen. So if you think about what we talked about with spruce and what it naturally helps you to accomplish, it's going to be on both a physical and emotional level. So moving things along, letting things go, allowing yourself to replenish and not be sluggish and then overworked, exhausted, and depleted. So it's going to give that boosting energy, because when you support your adrenal glands, you're going to have a boost to your energy and relief from that fatigue. Another thing was functioning of your metabolism. It supports your metabolic activity. So everybody always loves to know that, you have some extra help with your metabolism. hair care. It's really good for your hair, like dandruff, hair fall, and early whitening of the hair. So using black spruce in your hair for early whitening. Obviously, if you're doing like hair coloring in your hair, you're gonna, talk to your beauty expert. The last thing was urinary tract support. So keeping the genitourinary system healthy is another quality of spruce. So I just thought that might be helpful for people who are wondering, okay, so island mint sounds kind of fun, but it's, what do I really need another oil? Is island mint gonna smell good? So let's just say that you get it and it's not your favorite scent. There are so many uses for this. First of all, it smells amazing because it has spruce in it, which smells so good. But does everybody have the same taste or the same smell taste in what they? No, not everybody likes the same things. So it's kind of nice to know that even if it wasn't your favorite scent, there's lots of different uses for this oil. So this is island mint. Okay, the other oil that we're focusing on today is Purify. Now remember I said Purify when I first started using essential oils. I was like, oh, Purify is for deodorizing, and that's the only thing that I used it for. And then I started doing a little bit more research as I moved along in my oil journey, and I'm like, oh, so there's lemon. The second ingredient is Siberian fir. Siberian fir is one of my favorite essential oils. It is incredible in all of its properties. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Then it has citronella. Well, we've talked about citronella last week. If you missed it, go back and watch the video I talked about citronella. It has lime, so lemon and lime, again, lemon and lime. We love those two citrus oils, and those citrus oils are so good for helping keep your body nice and cleansed and detoxified and energized and all of that. And the tonic property, keeping your body tone balanced, is really good too with lemon and lime. So those are kind of well known. But citronella we talked about, lemon and lime, but then there's tea tree. We talked about tea tree last week. If you didn't catch that video, go back last week and look at the video I did on tea tree. And then lastly is cilantro essential oil. So you got cilantro and Siberian fir that I wanted to talk a little bit more about. Those two essential oils are some really important essential oils. So cilantro, it's similar to coriander. So coriander is the seed of the plant, and then cilantro is the herb or the leafy part. So they steam distill the leaves of the coriander cilantro plant, and it's the leaf part, steam distill, get the oil from that, and that's where we get cilantro essential oil. There's also coriander essential oil, and they're not the same. They have different properties. So what the leaf is high in is these aldehydes, decyl aldehydes specifically. Did you know that cilantro essential oil is used, or has been historically used, to help treat people who have a low appetite, that are not feeling like eating? Isn't that interesting? By diffusing cilantro, that has been shown to help people who are not, their appetite's low. There's not a whole lot that can be done for people who have a low appetite, or that need to stimulate that desire. That there's a reason that is out of whack or not in balance. So for occasional issues with that, what a neat thing to know. It's really good to help balance out the digestive system in general. But that was one that I didn't know about, is the people that have issues with appetite. Okay, so like I said, high in aldehydes. So you're gonna have this really crisp, fresh fragrance. And that's why, yes, with Purify, when you have cilantro, Siberian fir, lemon, lime, when you have all those oils that are all like so fresh, they are going to all have such great deodorizing properties that it is going to, I could tell you so many stories, and I'm sure lots of you have already heard stories of how well this does with deodorizing smells that you thought you could never get that smell out. And so that's why I'm kind of not focusing on that, because that's the obvious thing about Purify. But something that's not quite as obvious maybe about cilantro is that it's very calming, and it's really good for your immune system, as far as stimulating your immune system to be functioning properly. I know that emotionally, cilantro is called the oil of releasing control. And so again, relaxing that need to control everything is going to be very healthy for you, because when you have that need to control, you're very tight, and nothing good happens. And I know from personal experience, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, one of the first things that has come up when I've done testing is cilantro, that I always want to have control over things, and that can cause a lot of health issues for you when you are too controlling and you think that you need to try and control things, when, let's just be honest, we can't control almost everything in our life. There's extremely little that we can control, and that's here, and basically what we put in our body. So cilantro is a nerve tonic, helping to tone the nerve. A lot of people don't know that about cilantro. Would you necessarily think about applying Purify topically as a tonic and as a relaxing agent? I would not have before I did this research. There are lots of really, really cool things that it can do that are not compliant. So do some research on that. And then also dilute it for possible sensitive skin. If you are going to use it for topically, like I'm suggesting, instead of just diffusing it or sprinkling it somewhere where you want to have a deodorizing effect, dilute it just to make sure that it's going to be tolerated well on your skin, especially when you know you've got those citrus oils in there too. So then let's talk about Siberian fir. Siberian fir is just absolutely incredible. The firs are just a group that are very known for having the property of analgesia. Analgesia is relieving discomfort, relieving pain. So if you have occasional aches or occasional discomfort, that property of analgesia is going to be so welcome from Siberian fir. But that property is so much more strong in Siberian fir than in white fir, which is actually the fir that doTERRA used to use as their fir. There's twice the amount of bornyl acetate, and that's kind of the thing that gives it that analgesic property, is the bornyl acetate. So when you have twice the amount, you can think of really having some effect when there's that occasional discomfort. But back in the day, when people used Siberian fir, they used it for their scalp. The resin from the fir trees can be used to make turpentine. So think about the uses of turpentine. I'll just leave that to you, and you think about the uses of turpentine, and you can carry that right across to Siberian fir. Support for your respiratory. So I've had the issue of needing support for my respiratory since I was a little kid, which I've learned as time has gone on is directly related to my other issue with needing to control. And when my parents would be fighting, I would have a really difficult time breathing, and everything would tighten up. So you guys, it's all connected, and it's all emotional. Emotional is always underlying. That's why we need to know not just, oh, this is deodorizing. Oh, that smells nice. It's got a summer mint, fresh smell. We need to understand the properties of what's inside of them, and we need to know the emotional properties of the oils too, because if we can address the emotional components, then the physical stuff starts to fall away. I promise you. You really want to get to know the emotional components and get to know yourself. And okay, why am I feeling so tight? Why am I feeling so tense? Why do I reach for this at this time? So for me, I got to really get in touch with the fact that the respiratory issues had a lot to do with my feeling like I wasn't in control as a little kid when the domestic situation wasn't in my control and it was chaotic. So it's really nice to know that the alpha pinene in Siberian fir is what gives you that property for the respiratory support, and it's a powerful one. So being able to diffuse Purify for the respiratory support, not necessarily just to deodorize, okay? Applying it topically for the respiratory support, not just to deodorize. Applying it for those aches and soreness. Would you think of putting Purify for discomfort? But you can use it for that, and it actually really works. Again, use your carrier oil. We know that Purify by its name is going to have powerful detoxification properties too, not just for stinky shoes and not just for the bathroom and for, scrubbing things down, but for your body. So there's that as well. It is known to stimulate the liver and support the liver, and we've talked about how that helps detox your body. It also, the Siberian fir we're talking about now, helps to induce sweat. So what does sweat do? That's helping pull out the toxins. Again, not necessarily something you would always think about with Purify, but that makes it an ideal one to add to a natural deodorant, wouldn't it? I think it would. It also acts as a natural diuretic. So how do we release toxins? We talked about this last week. We release them through our kidneys and we excrete that way. Through our sweat, we can excrete that way. And liver, and then into the digestive, and then we know how that comes out. So that's how we get rid of the yucky stuff. So this Purify specifically with cilantro and with Siberian fir is going to encourage that in your body. So it's going to help draw things out. I know anecdotally for bug bite, when I applied Purify, it just drew out that, how you get the raised wheel from the bug bite because of the toxin that whatever the bug was or the spider has injected into you, and your body is having that response to it. It immediately just flattened. And remember I talked about that analgesic effect? I completely didn't feel the pain from the bite anymore as soon as I applied the Purify, and then it was flat. And it never did wheel up after that. You know how usually next day or two you start to get this bump again and then it's itchy? Nope. So, but that makes sense because it's going to pull out those toxins. So remember that for the topical use of it. Obviously deodorizing and other things that I can't say. So we're gonna stop. I wanted to try to keep it shorter today. I don't want to belabor and bore you guys. This is just something you want to think about. When you look at a blend, let's not just say, oh, Purify means it smells good. Oh, Island Mint. Oh, summertime fresh smelling blend. Look at the ingredients and what's in it and how it can affect your body, how you can use it for emotional support, and then make sure that you're getting the most out of your oils. So if you know anything about these two oils, you're going to want to grab them, and you're going to want to have some extras so that you can share them. And especially when you have something that you don't know when we'll have it again, it's nice to stock up. So that's why with the Island Mint, knowing that it has the black spruce, which again is available in a small supply, and then knowing that this is exclusive and not always available, personally, I will stock up on Island Mint. So that's just me, but remember to always look at blends for what they contain and not just for their name and the first thing that comes to your mind. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow because we'll have another special talk tomorrow and the next day, and we'll talk all about oils that are specific to those days. Bye.